After we go over that, let's just go ahead and ask some questions. I think Zoom gives me about 30 minutes to do this. So, baby step number one is save $1,000 in a beginner emergency fund. 500 if your income is under 20,000 a year. That's in parentheses. But I think 1,000. Just go for it. Number two, pay off all debt except the house using the debt snowball. I actually did that. I had a credit card that I was paying for 5 years. They shut down the credit card because I didn't pay it in the beginning. What ended up happening, the reason I paid it off was because I saw this Dave Ramsey thing, and I'm going, I owe 5 grand to these people, and I can't even use the card. I paid it off. So you're gonna learn how to pay off some credit cards, pay off all debt. I know it's weird. I get it. We live in a society where, like, my best friends and my family members tell me all the time about how can you live off of debt? That's what they tell me, you know. And the more I teach this class, it's weird. I get like messages in my Facebook feed from people that I know telling me that that's bullshit. You can't teach that. That like doesn't make sense. You know what doesn't make sense? It doesn't make sense that if you don't have $200 to buy something, you go and you borrow it on credit. That doesn't make sense. That's insane, because then you're putting yourself in a hole. And I just think that's crazy. So pay off all debt except the house using the debt snowball.
I have one question.
Yes.
So he says the credit card not to, even if they're paid off, if they're still there and they're still open, you still have debt that you should close them out.
Yep.
But what if a person is trying to buy a home and needs to establish credit?
Yeah. So.
Good question, I guess.
Yep. So let me finish these steps, and I'm gonna answer you. Put step number 3. Put 3 to 6 months of expenses into saving. Number 4, invest 15% of your household income into Roth IRAs. Number 5, save for your children's college education. Number 6, pay off the house early. And number 7, build wealth and give. That's what you want to get to. My giving has went up significantly. I give in so many fun ways. I'll pay for like the next 10 cars for me in a toll booth. You know, I have so much fun giving. I think that's why you really want to get to, which is step number 7. Jess, to answer your question, I don't know. Like, I don't have the exact answers. I think that you take this system and you work it the best as you possibly can, the way they teach it. However, you may find yourself, like I did, having to do certain things to make sure that your life works out. So do whatever you think is right. This is what I did, because I did buy a house during this time. You know, Jess, I know you personally. When you met me, I didn't have a house. I was renting a 2-bedroom apartment, and probably was broke when you met me, and probably was driving a shitty car when you met me. I did this plan. I saved the money. I bought the house the way I was supposed to buy it, with the 20% down, and I cut up a couple credit cards during that time. So I don't know how your credit is built exactly. Obviously, this guy's not a fan of credit. You know, I think personally you should have a credit card. You should have at least one, because you don't want to use your debit card for everything. This is just my opinion. And sometimes when you go to rent a car, like I travel a lot, you can't rent it because they don't take debit or something stupid like that. So I always keep one. However, my credit was built over time just by consistent payments. And I found, like, as I close some accounts, close them out, I mean, it didn't really change it that much, or it wasn't to the point where my credit score went from 700 to 600 and I couldn't get it back up. It seems like now my credit score, it went from 420 to about, I think right now I'm at like 715 to 745, which is decent. And that was in a 4-year time frame. And I bought a house. Dave Ramsey's going to tell you to buy a house with a 20% down. I did that as well. I rented, right? Like, you'll learn to wait longer for a bigger reward at the end. I rented longer than I had to. I kept my old car longer than I had to. I I did keep a credit card, actually, just like you say, until now. My credit card that I got, that was only a $500 limit when my credit score was 420. It was probably around the first time I took this class. Now the limit is like 2,000 because my credit got better and they decided to give me more money, right? Because a bank is an institution that will lend you money as long as you can prove you don't need it. That's what a bank does. So I took my credit card. Now I got another card. So I had one that was 500, then it went up to 2,000. Now I have, and I would pay $8 a month to have that credit card. Okay, this is the Dave Ramsey plan. This is how you start thinking over time. I got another credit card from my own bank with no monthly fee. So I just saved $8 a month. I'm going to close it out during this class. I actually waited for this because I want to chop that thing up, call them, be like, I'm done. I hope that answers your question, Jess. Cool.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right. If anybody has any questions, I think we got a